goals for this project are to introduce IT concepts to middle schoolers through an in-class presentation and activities, as well as a field trip for one class to FSU campus. Our metrics for measuring our success are a series of dates as well as how many schools that we visit. Again, we have to visit 3 schools and we have to bring one class onto FSU campus for a field trip. And the dates that we're planning are to have the in-class parts done by the end of the first week of November, and then on the next week have the field trip. And again, we also have to make sure that the kids learn something from this, because that's the whole point of doing it.
As far as the progress to date, we've met a good amount of our goals set from the beginning of the semester, from establishing the 3 schools that we're actually going to participate in the outreach, to establishing also the activity that's going to be taking place in the schools. We're excited for this opportunity. We have run into a few issues, starting with the Hurricane Michael. It set us back about a week, so instead of the first week of November where we'll be visiting, it was now postponed to the second week. As far as our next steps, the main concern right now is establishing the actual time slots that we'll be visiting the schools, as well as establishing the survey that will serve as a better way to understand how our performance was for the students, as well as getting the materials that are needed for the project. We're also establishing the exact date that we're going to bring Griffin Middle School to campus, so getting the necessary permission from their parents, as well as understanding what they're going to be doing on campus, from visiting the Innovation Hub to having lunch at Chick-fil-A. So we're looking forward to that. I'm responsible for contacting the schools and maintaining communication between the schools and the group. Noah is responsible for developing the lesson plan as well as the survey for the students to take after our performance, while Chris is responsible for getting the materials, and then also once he's finished with that, he'll be helping me with the communication as well as Noah with developing the lesson plans. The members of the group are responsible for just kind of supplementary, so their main priority is focusing on when we bring the students to campus, where they will serve as chaperones for the students.
So in the next 2 weeks, we'll be handling the communication and the content with the schools. This next week, we're going to be physically going to the schools to be communicating with the directors and the principal to really align their schedules with ours. So we have those dates set in stone. And then on the content part, we're just going to be constantly looking at it, redefining it, figuring out what's the best strategy to really use with these kids to make sure that they're actually learning something and getting something out of it. So the biggest issue we've had so far is getting in contact with the schools, but to combat that, as I previously mentioned, we're going to actually physically go to the schools to kind of ameliorate that area of where we've been minded. So on a scale of 0 to 3, we are at a 2. We're on schedule, and we're looking forward to bringing this opportunity to the Tallahassee community.